Hey everyone, and welcome to the recap of day 5 in the Natalie Cochran case. State brought two witnesses, the final two. This is now the time where the gifts have been packed. It's Christmas Eve. We're going to untie the bow, and everything will be clear from now on. And maybe for some people, I might still have a few doubts. We had Paul Uribe, a forensic pathologist, who did a second autopsy on Michael, couldn't see anything on the body. It was too decomposed. So what he did was go over the same medical charts that Dr. Krieger had looked at, and he reached the same conclusion. It must have been insulin. Why? Because he had a drop in blood sugar, a spike, a drop, and then normalized. There was no one at the time who thought he had an insulin poisoning. They just treated him for low blood sugar, for hypoglycemia. No one believed he had been injected with insulin at the time of. No one started thinking it was foul play till months later. The cross on him, well, he seemed like a weird guy. Most death doctors are weird people, but it was hard getting some answers out of him, and he was one of those. I want to over explain everything, so maybe a little slow, a little. And it was the defense lawyer who can't say two words fast, so it dragged a bit. But I think the defense got to prove that, well, he didn't really have any new evidence, and he didn't have any concrete evidence other than it must have been insulin because of the spike drop. That's what he based it on, as far as I understood it. Then we had the lead investigator, Timothy Bledsoe, and I don't know about you. I've been around on other channels yesterday because maybe I'm seeing everything wrong, and I most likely am. But the evidence, the strong evidence, the text messages that claimed this shows Michael knew about the Ponzi scheme. Remember the motive? He knew about it, and she had to kill him. They don't have to prove motive, but that's what they stated in opening statements. And I believe if you mention it in opening statements, you must prove it. One of those text messages was to one of Michael's family members saying, well, the money is tied up and there's blah, blah, blah. That wasn't to Michael. Michael wasn't part of that conversation. That family member could have told him, bring him in as a witness saying, yeah, I got that text message. I was worried. I called Michael and he said, I'm going to talk to her. Bingo, bango. Firsthand evidence that he knew about it. No such thing was done. Then we had an attachment to an email that allegedly should show he wanted to contact police or something. It came in such a weird way. I absolutely didn't understand what they were saying, and they didn't show it. So most of it was based on my investigation. It wasn't show and tell. It was only tell. And tell, especially in a case with circumstantial evidence, to me isn't strong evidence. But I can see other channels, people are dead set she did it because he found out about the Ponzi scheme. I don't know how, because no one proved it. These text messages was 4 or 5 months before he died. They kept doing business together. They kept opening bank accounts together in that time period. But if you knew your wife was running an illegal Ponzi scheme, and they kept buying houses together for the stolen money, because it's again back to I'm always saying you can't be a little bit pregnant. Michael knows in September. That's why she has to kill him in February. That's kind of the overall gist. But at the same time, Michael is not part of the Ponzi scheme, but they buy houses together. They open bank accounts together in that time period. If he doesn't know about it at the same time as he knows about it, and he used the money from the illegal activity that he did and didn't know about, how can you square that? And I think that's why I don't believe the story adds up, because they keep saying he didn't know anything. And at the same time, they keep saying she killed him because he knew everything. Proven by emails that happens 4 to 5 months before she did it. Maybe I'm wrong. Most likely I am. But I didn't feel the lead investigator really tied the bows. And on cross-examination, he got the defense dementia. Oh, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Which I don't like. That comes off as shady. But that's where they ended. I didn't feel it was a strong ending from the state. I did a poll on my channel. 81% believe she is not guilty. 21% believe she's guilty. Does that math? I'm not sure. No, 79, 81, 21. Around that. It's 80-20, roughly. When I do my polls, it's the opposite when I go on Court TV. I was in Lawyer Lee's chat yesterday. To me, it looked like comments were roughly 50-50. So maybe I'm just seeing it wrong. But I'm really interested. From the defense, I want a medical doctor to explain how he could have the top dip insulin. I want someone to explain to the jury insulin use in bodybuilding. I want to find out, was he a bodybuilder, a strongman, or a Spartan athlete? Those three are the three very distinct, different types of training you do to participate in those sports. I really want a website proving he bought illegal drugs. That's important to me. I tried to Google the name he said yesterday, and it said it was some DVD maker and high energy drinks. So I don't know what it is, but I want someone to show it. They're going to call the son, hopefully for the defense to say, well, he didn't want to go to the hospital. He always said he didn't want to go to the hospital. He said, I'll kick your behind if you send me to the hospital. Oh, yeah, and he was a massive test user. That would be the thing the defense should be looking for. If it's just to say something good about her or him, keep the kids off the stand. He's 17 years old. But I want a medical expert to testify why you can have that glucose level. I want someone who has knowledge about bodybuilding to talk about insulin use in bodybuilding. And I don't want anyone to talk about 45 different financial crimes. If they are efficient, the defense should be able to end tomorrow at the latest. If they are efficient, the jury should have this by noon tomorrow if closing argument is as short as opening statements. But we never know. That's why you should come back at around 9 a.m. Eastern and see day 6 in the Natalie Cochran case.